Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and once again I'm coming to you with another From the Vault video, and I guess also a firearms tutorial video all wrapped into one. The From the Vault videos are typically a series that I put out where I show off a rare or collectible gun from my collection that I think you might be interested in learning more about. However, sometimes when guns are linked to the channel for range reports, I feel that they are worthy of a From the Vault video as well because they are simply just mechanically interesting or are so rare that I want to document them in this format. And this particular firearm definitely meets those criteria. Today we're going to kind of unbox, take a look at, show how to take apart and change the barrel of a Mateba 6 Unica chambered in .44 Magnum. This is a very special package because it has everything in the box, not just the firearm, but an extra barrel, all of the accessories such as speed loaders and even a scope mount that went with this very rare and collectible firearm. So let me go ahead and adjust the camera. Let's unbox this. Let's see what's inside. We'll talk about how this very rare auto revolver works. Then I'll show you how to take it apart, change the barrel, and also show you how to, in case you own one of the ones chambered in .357 Magnum, get to the recoil spring so you can change that out if you wanted to shoot .38 Special. So here we go. Let me adjust the camera and let's take a look at this really cool auto revolver. Alright, so here's the box that this very rare auto revolver comes in. Let's go ahead and open it up. We have the case inside, and here on the side of the box is all of the information from the manufacturer. Let's go ahead and take this out. There's the case. It says Mateba, and this thing is jam-packed full of stuff. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. We get the original owner's manual, all the information that you would need to know in, I believe, Italian. So don't know how much that's going to help us. We do have a diagram of all of the different parts. Looks like we get, of course, the revolver itself. We get some parts here. We get some Allen wrenches and some takedown tools and a thread protector. We have a couple of speed loaders, and I'll take all of these out of the packaging in a moment. We have the rail. However, it appears that this rail is not complete. It looks like we are missing a part, unfortunately. I did check everything in the box, see if maybe it fell underneath the foam, but I can't seem to find it. And I'll have to make sure I let Jack, who lent this to the channel, know, but the rail does not seem to be complete. We have a barrel takedown tool. We have the extra barrel. This is the 8-inch barrel. And then we have the auto revolver itself. And let me move this case out of the way. And here it is. Now I have shown in the range report of the .357 Magnum variant of this particular gun, this thing blends the mechanics of a semi-automatic pistol and a revolver. So the action of the firearm when it is under recoil has the upper part, which is kind of like a slide, comes back, cocks the hammer, and rotates the cylinder. Very interesting, very different. And that is it on both sides. This is a nickel finished one. If you do want to open the cylinder, the hammer has to be down and the lever is on the side. It is ambidextrous. You can open it up that way. Now I want to show you some basics of taking this auto revolver down for cleaning and maintenance, and if you had a variant that has multiple springs to run different calibers like .38 Special and .357 Magnum, how to do that. I have found that disassembly is much easier than reassembly. So the tools we may need for this are going to be provided in this little baggie right here. We have some Allen wrenches, and we have a little tiny tool to take down a very special spring. And that tool is right here. I shouldn't say spring, a screw is what we have to take down. And we will start by cocking the hammer. And there's going to be a little Allen head screw right in there that this tool needs to fit into. And you will take this out all the way. And I would highly recommend, as you take all these parts off this very rare gun, you do get a magnetic bowl to put the tiny parts in. And so there is the tiny screw that you do not want to lose. We will put it right there. Now, this little bar goes through the firearm, and what you're going to have to do is pull the upper back just a little bit to take the pressure off of it. Then this thing is free, and you need to adjust where this flat piece is in the upward position, and then it should simply come right out, and it is threaded where that screw will go in. And then all you have to do is let the upper go off the lower. Here is our lower portion of the firearm. There is our recoil spring and recoil spring guide rod, and that can easily just come apart. And this is the time that if you had the .357 Magnum revolver, you can replace this with the .38 Special, and then you can run .38 Special in it. We'll set that aside for right now. If you did want to take the cylinder off, all you have to do is open it up and take out this screw right here, and the whole cylinder will come back. I don't want to take this gun apart any more than I have to because I don't want to damage it or lose any parts. But that would be very, very simple to do. The next thing I want to do is change out the barrel. I really want to do the range report with this gun with the 8-inch barrel. And the way that you do this is the barrel does unscrew. Now, there is a tool to get the barrel out. It is right here. It's kind of like a little spanner wrench, I guess. And right now, this particular gun has a compensator on it, and this just screws onto the barrel. However, I'm not able to get this compensator off. So what I did before I filmed this portion is I put this upper into a vise, a gun vise. I held this down and I was able to rotate it off. So the whole barrel can unscrew, but typically you will unscrew the compensator and then the barrel will simply thread out. There are some wrench flats right here, but I don't have a wrench that is thin enough. I have one that is wide enough but not thin enough to get on that to help unscrew the barrel and the compensator. We'll go ahead and unscrew this all the way. It can be a little bit tight in there. And once this comes out, all of this comes off. This portion up here is just a little sheath that goes over the barrel. Doesn't really do anything function-wise. It's more for cosmetics, but you definitely need that. Then there's also going to be a little washer that goes around the barrel. And if I could get the compensator off, I would if I could just unscrew that. Then here is the upper part of the firearm. I guess we'll call this the slide. And so if I want to use the other barrel, let me go ahead and get it out of the packaging. It comes with this little portion as well, which is of course longer for the longer barrel. The barrel in this case is 8 inches long. It does have a thread protector on it. We can get this off by just simply unscrewing it. Very easy to do here. And so if we want to put this on to the upper, we're simply going to put this back through this part, put it in. You got to make sure that this little washer right here is all the way on, because that's what's going to make contact with this portion and hold it in place. And I found this can actually be a little bit tricky. You got to make sure you put pressure against that upper, and you can start it with just your fingers. I believe we're good. You're going to screw that all the way on as far as you can. And then you simply just take a wrench and you're going to tighten that down. And that's all you have to do. And that's it. And that barrel is now changed out. We're going to put on the thread protector. I really wish I could review this with the compensator, but as I said, it's definitely frozen on that barrel. I did try to heat it up a little bit, and I still can't get it off, and I don't want to damage it at all. So we'll just leave that on. We will review this with this particular barrel on it. And there we go. We've changed the barrel out. It should be noted that the front sight up here is adjustable for windage and elevation. Screw on the side is for windage, screw on the top is for elevation. It's kind of a very intricate front sight. The rear sight is not adjustable. So let's go ahead and put this back onto the lower. And so what we'll do, and I found this is where everything is a little bit difficult and a little bit tricky. So as you can see, we do have a little pin that goes through the lower, and that's going to correspond to that little groove in the recoil spring assembly. So we're going to put this back, and everything has to line up, and that little guide rod has to go around that spring. Now, when we start to slide this back on to the upper, you don't want to go all the way, and as I said, this is where things get a little bit tricky. I find that things fall out of this gun. It's not a very easy reassembly. And there we go. Now comes the hardest part in my personal opinion. So what we have to do is there's going to be a little hook, which I'm going to have to push through from the front of the firearm, and it has to go around this little arm right here. So right now, if I just pull this back all the way, it's not going to go on because it's going to hit this little wall. So what you have to do, of course, make sure the guide rod is all lined up. You can see if it goes through the front, and it looks like we're good. So this is where things are tricky. You kind of need 3 hands for it, but we're going to take one of these Allen wrenches right here, and I'm going to push through this little arm from the front. And you know when you get it, if you can see it just like that, it kind of looks like a tuning fork in a way. You have to keep pressure on that. And as you bring this back, that little nub should go into that tuning fork. And I should note that the hammer has to be down. So let me drop that hammer because that lowers that part right there. Makes it a little bit easier. Now let's go ahead and push this little tuning fork thing through. Close it up kind of slow. It should line up. It just did. And drop that Allen wrench. Get that out of there. And now the slide should come back onto the lower. Now you don't want to let it go at this point because the whole thing will come off the front. So now we have to line up this little hole right here so we can get this part which holds the whole gun in place together. So you got to hold it back to a certain point. You'll see that you can see through the hole, and it comes through the right side. And when it comes back far enough, it should go. And there it is. Now once it's in, you can let the pressure off of the upper, and then you may have to turn this a little bit to align that threaded part with where that screw is going to go. So let me take the pressure off that, rotate it just a little bit, line everything up. That little flat part of that pin should be going up, I would say, in about the 10 o'clock position. Then we'll get our special tool back out and put this little tiny Allen head screw on it. We need to pull the hammer back to give us a little bit more room. And of course I got to close the cylinder here. There we go. And then we can insert that screw, tighten it down, and if everything is lined up, it should go together. I may need to take it out again, just make sure it's all lined up. So as I mentioned in my range report of the 357 Magnum version of this is a little bit tricky, a little bit hard, and not as easy as most field strips and reassemblies. So that's why I said in that range report, You don't want to really take it apart unless you're really committed. If you want to change calibers to 38 special, because this is a complete pain in the butt. And it looks like I got it that time, I think. Maybe not. We got it. Just kind of finger tighten that. And there you go. So that is how to field strip for cleaning and maintenance and change the barrel of a Mateba 6 Unica Autorevolver. And this one's chambered in 44 Magnum. So I hope that helps somebody in the future if you own one of these when I know how to take it apart. So while I have everything out here on the workbench, I want to show you all of the other parts that come with this. We do have the, I guess I'm going to say proprietary speed loaders for this. They're a little bit longer, a little bit bigger than other speed loaders I have used in the past. So we do have 2 of them. This particular collection does come with the original manuals for them, which is kind of cool. I'm sure these things are probably pretty darn rare. So there's the instruction manual for those. We do have the rail, and I'm assuming this is going to be for the longer barreled version. It is marked with their logo, and it would wrap around the barrel like that. However, I have discovered that I don't have the other piece. The piece that this would screw into. I have checked the box. It just doesn't seem to be there. So I don't know what to do. I don't know if it was originally in here and it was lost, or if it was sold as a separate part. I just don't know. I just gotta make sure that Jack knows he doesn't have a complete rail. Maybe there's a way of tracking one of those down. So there you go. That's pretty much everything that comes with this particular firearm. It's definitely a piece of history, something very rare, special, and unique. So I hope you guys enjoyed this From the Vault video on the Mateba 6 Unica and 44 Magnum, and enjoyed how to take this thing down, because trust me, that took a few times to actually practice before filming this video to make sure I could do it without a complete mess up. It is very difficult. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, and as always, thanks for watching.